Expression sheets for your characters. Happy, sad, surprised, and mad. In today's video, let's talk about the character expression basics. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad, and I've been a professional animator and illustrator for over 20 years. And here on this channel, I want to share some of what I've learned with you. So please, if you can, like and subscribe because you'd be doing me a huge favor. So, what is an expression sheet and why would you need it? Well, after you've reached the final design of your main characters for your comic or animation project, an expression sheet would be a collection of facial expressions and reactions for those characters. Essentially, you're giving your characters life and personality by allowing them to act, emote, and feel more real. If your characters are flat and stone-faced, the audience won't connect or be invested in your story. So it's very common in animation, comics, and video game productions to have expression sheets, as well as posing sheets for the characters. On screen, you can see some character model sheets from some Disney projects. Look at the level of detail and the amount of expressions that they use. That's because on an animation project, there could be dozens of designers, animators, and artists all working on the same character at any one point in the production. So, by having detailed model sheets showing character rotations, expressions, and posing, ensures that all these artists are keeping the character on model and in the same style. On a comic book series, model sheets and expressions are also used, but to a lesser extent. An artist working on an established series for like Marvel or DC, they usually have some flexibility in the drawing style, just so long as the characters stay on model and in character. If a brand new series and character were being created, then the model sheets and expression sheets would be a lot more important. Here you can see some of the character designs and model sheets that I've created for some of my characters. So, if you're creating your own comic series, webcomic, or graphic novel, then character expression sheets and posing sheets would be super helpful. So I figured I'd talk about some of the tricks that I've learned over the years that have kind of helped me. For example, squash and stretch, one of the key principles of animation, established by pioneering Disney animators Ollie Johnson and Frank Thomas. They wrote a little book about the 12 principles of animation once. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's only the most definitive and influential book on animation ever written, and its principles are still used today, even in 3D or digital animation. If you're an animator or have a passing interest in the history of animation, then find this book. You won't be sorry. In animation, squash and stretch represents impact and motion. And so when it comes to character expressions, we can really squash and stretch the face and the head to really exaggerate some of those expressions. Now, let's apply some of those exaggerations to a more traditional Loomis head. Drawing a traditional Andrew Loomis style head is something I covered in a previous video. It's basically a traditional illustrative style head, something you'd see commonly used in comic books, as opposed to a more cartoony animation style look. Let's start with 3 expressions here: happy, angry, and surprised. If we look at the happy version, we can see that the eyebrows are moving up and away from the center, the eyes much bigger, and of course we have the grin lines protruding down from the nose, but not too much. You don't want to make the character look too old. With the angry version, we can see that the entire face is squishing towards the center. The eyebrows are squishing down and towards the center, forcing the eyes to squint and become smaller. I also like to make the mouth tight and baring teeth, grinding the teeth together. And the nose should flare up and reveal those grin lines. For our surprise face, the entire head is stretching as the head is tilting back. Eyes are wide open with tiny pupils looking downward. Eyebrows are moving upward and curling out to the sides, and the mouth is gaping wide open. Be careful not to lose the structure of your head as you're hinging that jaw wide open to create the open mouth. Now, here's a couple variations of an original character that I created a while ago. Now, let's look at creating some facial expressions for an established character. I've created a few close-up angles of this character's head and face, which will make it easier for me to jump in and add some facial expressions. I'll start with the 3/4 front angry view for this character. Notice I'm pressing the eyebrows down towards the center and thinning the eyes. I'll make her baring those teeth, and the nose and rest of the face is slightly squishing together upwards to the center. Okay, that about does it for the angry view. Now let's try a 3/4 front sad expression face. We'll start with the pouting mouth and a slightly longer face. Now remember when you're doing your mouth positions on a 3/4 front to match the angle and shape of the head. Eyebrows are curling upwards, almost inverting, going upside down a little bit. The eyes should be smaller with heavy eyelids and with a downward and saddened gaze. So I think that about covers the basics of character facial expressions. Please let me know if there's anything else you want to see, or let me know if this video was helpful to you or not. And please comment, like, and subscribe. You'd be doing me a huge favor, and it'll allow me to keep making more videos like this. All the best. See you in the next one.